And welcome back, Soulmates, to Fox Soul's Black Report. Thanks for joining the conversation today. So listen, after 20 years of construction, the city of Detroit wants to know what it is going to take for Perfecting Church to finish the job.
That's right. Now the city has filed a lawsuit forcing the famous family and church to respond. We get the latest from Fox 2 Detroit's Ingrid Kelly.
City of Detroit sending a clear message to Perfecting Church and its leader, Bishop Marvin Winans.
Well, we did sue because we said this continues to be a nuisance which has to be abated.
The lawsuit filed last week, the city demanding the court take jurisdiction over the case involving this unfinished church at 7 Mile and Woodward, the future home of Perfecting Church, a church that has been under construction for decades after plans to build at this site were announced in 2003 by Bishop Winans, a member of the world-renowned gospel singing family, the Winans.
They have not taken out a building permit to do any work on that church since 2018. We want a receiver to come in, take control of the project, and help us bring this thing to a close.
The city says it's still waiting to receive a detailed status building report from the church, which was due 2 weeks ago. Fox 2 reached out to Bishop Winans, and we received a statement which reads in part, "We believed we are up to date in addressing all matters of concern posed by the city. We are shocked and extremely disappointed that the city would take this course of action in the dark of the night and, in our opinion, not acting in good faith." But one local activist believes this lawsuit is about more than a church that remains unfinished.
What is really happening here, I believe, is that that church is located right on the line of sight to the first PGA event ever held in Detroit, the Rocket Mortgage Classic. I believe they view it as an eyesore.
The city rejecting that claim.
We've had 2 rocket mortgages, and this thing has been standing there throughout each one of them.
The church has 3 weeks to respond to the lawsuit.
There's something wrong with this. Does God have a timetable? Hell no.
If we are going to transform the blight that we all live with every single day, we've got to start somewhere. We're starting at 7 Mile and Woodward.
In Detroit, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Oh, I love Bishop White. The entire family. That is Detroit. Detroit are the Winans. The Winans of Detroit. But let me tell you, it's been 20 years, which is why I have to disagree with the other gentleman. You know, God might not have a timeline, but you know, residents do. It's not just the city. People in that community are tired of looking at it. Could you imagine going up and down that block, seeing that unfinished project and no movement on it? I have to agree with the city. It is time for somebody to get some answers and to get that project moving, regardless of the PGA event. 7 and Woodward prime area, and you know, you want to see something there that complements the city. It's been 20 years. You know, 20 years,
and we are used to a building fund. There are a lot of churches who have had building funds that have been around for a long time, but you know, you've actually got to be building. Yeah. Right? That's how it works. And you can't just have, you know, money for construction, but the construction is not happening. And so, you know, I think, you know, people deserve answers, right? And, you know, if the church can't provide folks with answers, you know, freely, then I think that's when you got to get the courts
And maybe
involved.
God doesn't have timing, but was it Pastor Winans' time to build that church, which could be impeding the process? Maybe it just wasn't his time or season to begin this project, which is why it hasn't been fulfilled. But I hope for the best. You know, I hope Perfecting can get their church up and running. I hope the city can get a nice building in that area. Or if that's not the solution, then you know, maybe like the man said, somebody had to take over that project and see what else can be done with that building. It's an eyesore for sure, in my opinion.